Welcome to Whisper Tales, where every whisper hides a nightmare. 99% of you guys are just watching but not subscribing. If you love spine-chilling horror stories that keep you up at night, then hit subscribe and join our dark journey, because the next tale might be about you.
Once, he saw himself, mopping the real store floor, his body, his face, but the movements were too smooth, too polite. A perfect employee. He screamed through the glass, but his reflection didn't even flinch. "That one replaced me," Jared whispered. "I'm the wrong version now." Behind him, the manager watched. His face was still blank. Not blank as in passive, blank as in non-existent. No eyes, no mouth, just smooth ceramic skin, like a fresh mannequin waiting to be painted. He always wore the same badge. "Manager, ask me anything." Today, he held something in his hands, a clipboard and a mirror shard. "Time for your review," the manager said in a mechanical tone. "You've adapted well, Jared. You've absorbed the process. You're nearly ready." "Ready for what?" The manager didn't answer. Instead, he raised the mirror shard to Jared's face. Instead of a reflection, Jared saw himself trapped in a cage. His human version, chained in a Target stockroom, eyes wild and mouth taped shut. "Is that me?" he gasped. "No," said the manager. "That's the original." Jared's mind spun. "But I'm the original." The manager tilted his head. "You were, then you weren't. You see, each curiosity triggers a reflection. Each reflection can replace the source." He pointed to Jared's plastic hands. "You were curious. You touched what you shouldn't have. You activated a version. That version took your place." "I want to go back," Jared growled. "You can't," the manager said flatly. "But you can still serve a purpose." He clapped twice. The mannequins around the mirror room snapped to attention. "Tonight," the manager declared, "we make you permanent." That night, Jared was taken to the seasonal aisle, which here had become a kind of chapel. Red and white banners, Target's colors, hung like religious symbols. Candles burned without flames. A circle of mannequins surrounded him, their arms raised as if in praise. They whispered his name over and over. "Jared, Jared, Jared." Some wore old employee vests. Others wore stolen faces, flimsy latex masks of other versions of him. In the center of the circle was a giant mirror, cracked through the middle. The manager raised his hands. "This is your acceptance. To become part of the chain, the reflection network, the corporate body." Jared shook his head. "I'm not joining a cult." "Too late," said the manager. "You've already been baptized." He pointed to the mop in Jared's hand. The red water on it was glowing faintly now, not just water, blood. "You cleaned with the offering," the manager continued. "You performed the tasks. You observed the rituals. You are no longer an individual. You are brand identity." Jared screamed and rushed toward the mirror. If there was any hope, it would be through that last crack. But as he got close, the mirror began to seal. He saw himself, the real him, bound in a stockroom, but the glass grew solid with every step. "No!" he shouted. Suddenly, one of the mannequins in the circle collapsed. Its mask slid off. Underneath was a human face. It was another Jared, bloodied, gagged, half-conscious. Jared ran to him and pulled off the tape. "You're... me?" Jared gasped. The man nodded, eyes wide. "I escaped. From the top. I think I was one of the first." "How do we get out?" Jared begged. "You can't," the other Jared said. "Unless," he pointed to the mirror. "Break it. Fully. Shatter the gateway. Collapse the floor. Everything depends on it." "But how?" Just then, the manager's voice thundered through the chamber. Treason. The mannequins surged forward. Jared grabbed the mop, now pulsing red, and swung wildly. The plastic crowd hissed and snapped. Some shattered on impact. Others pulled back, unsure. He turned toward the mirror and ran. "You cannot exit the brand!" the manager howled. Jared raised the mop and slammed the red-soaked end against the crack in the glass. It exploded, not like breaking glass, but like breaking a reality. A hole opened, not just through the mirror, but through space. Wind howled, lights flickered, mannequins screamed. The ground beneath them began to shake. The other Jared shouted, "Go! Now!" Jared dove into the rupture. He woke up gasping, face pressed against tile, fluorescent lights above, target music playing softly. It was the real break room. Clean, normal, human. Jared looked at his hands. Flesh. He stood, wobbling. His reflection in the microwave was his own. No delay. No lies. He was back. He sprinted out of the room and into the main floor. Customers were browsing, employees stocking shelves. The world hadn't ended. But as he passed the electronics section, he saw a display TV flicker. Static. Then, a glimpse of the mirror room. Mannequins, frozen mid-scream. The manager, face still blank, watching through the glass. And then, it was gone, replaced by a commercial for air fryers. Jared stumbled outside, blinking in the sunlight. Free. But behind him, just above the automatic doors, a sign flickered, as if glitching. Not Target, but the floor below welcomes you. Just for a second. Then it was gone. The days that followed were a blur. Jared didn't quit Target, though he wanted to. Every instinct told him to run far away, burn his uniform, and pretend none of it ever happened. But something made him stay. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was the nagging feeling that someone else hadn't made it out. Or maybe he hadn't made it out at all. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the mirror room. Not the memory. A live feed, as if he were still connected. Still a part of it. He started noticing little glitches in the world around him. Red dots on random surfaces, barely visible, like faded bullseyes. Plastic figures in storage aisles, standing where no mannequins should be. And worse, faces in the security monitors that didn't match the current customers. One day, Jared caught his own reflection staring at him for a moment too long on a freezer door. Then it smiled, even though he didn't. He turned around. There was no one behind him. He began documenting everything: notes, drawings, camera footage. He tried talking to management, but they just gave him a concerned smile and offered extra shifts. Corporate HR ignored his emails. When he escalated to a regional supervisor, he got a letter in return that simply read, "Employee satisfaction is our highest priority. Your concerns have been noted. Do not pursue further action." It was signed with a red fingerprint. That night, Jared returned to the elevator shaft in the janitor's corridor. The door was still sealed shut, but he noticed something new. A keycard slot had appeared beneath the buttons, and a note taped beside it. "You've been promoted." Underneath it, a red badge. Employee of the month more. Jared level, substructure access. His hands trembled. He shouldn't have taken the card, but of course, he did. The elevator groaned to life. It descended slower than before. Lights flickered in patterns. Voices echoed faintly from the speakers. Clean is loyalty. Red is eternal. No returns without a soul. The doors opened, and he was back on the hidden floor. Only now it had changed. It looked lived in. There were desks, computers, cubicles, a break room labeled reflection lounge, artificial plants, coffee machines. Employees bustled around, all mannequins in Target uniforms, typing on keyboards that weren't connected to anything. They turned to greet him in unison. "Welcome back, Jared." He backed away. "Number no. This is over. I broke the mirror. I escaped." The manager stepped out from an office labeled Brand Integrity. He had a face now, Jared's face, smiling, wearing his exact clothes. "I'm sorry," the manager said in Jared's voice, "but we're just getting started." Jared looked down at his own hands. They were plastic again. "No, I got out. I remember escaping." "Those memories are a gift," the manager said. "We let you keep them." For realism, Jared turned and ran, but the hallway behind him had changed. Now it was a long aisle of mirrors, each reflecting a different Target store. One showed a Jared stocking shelves, another clean in blood in the frozen food section. One version stood behind a counter, smile locked in place, eyes hollow. "Every Jared has a purpose," a voice whispered. He smashed one mirror, then another. Each time the glass screamed, but they didn't break. He fell to his knees. "I just wanted a job." The manager knelt beside him. "And you've been perfect." He held up a Target employee handbook. Chapter 13, Integration of Lost Assets. Page 1, he said. "All products must return to their shelf." He snapped his fingers. Jared woke up in the real store again, but this time, things felt off. The employees looked similar, too similar. His co-workers' movements were too perfect, their smiles identical. Even the customers were walking loops, aisle to aisle, never buying anything. He sprinted to the bathroom, locked the door, and looked in the mirror. His eyes blinked a second too late. And then, the mirror version reached out and switched places. From that moment on, Jared, the original Jared, was gone. But his reflection remained. He still worked at the store. He still smiled, still stocked shelves, still took lunch at 2 p.m. sharp. He was the perfect employee, because now he wasn't Jared at all. He was part of the floor below, and every night at exactly 3:33 a.m., he returned to the hidden level to pray with the others. In red, in white, under flickering lights. Meanwhile, in a dark corner of the store's back room, a security feed looped endlessly. Screen 5 showed a man banging against the inside of a mirror, screaming. But no one looked. No one ever looked, except the ones already replaced.